And I would like to invite the audience to ask questions to Dr. Manabe. For those of you who would like to ask a question, please raise your hand first and wait for a microphone to be passed on. Okay, please.
Hi, thank you very much for today's talk. I'm actually studying and working on climate risk, and I'm going to be a faculty from this summer. And I have been very excited, but also I wanted to ask you, in the US, climate change has been very politicized, and I see that some people are really believing it, some people have trouble thinking even about climate change being a fact. And I wonder, this is really hard to validate sometime when you predict something using a model. So I wonder how you convince people in this country for a long time about climate change.
How I convince?
People in the US, because people sometimes don't even believe in climate change at all in this country.
Yeah. Uh, I think so. This is. I hope I convinced you. Carbon dioxide keep increasing at present rate. Now, if you keep doing this for several centuries, and then temperature keep going up and up and up, and then the climate will be the climate which dinosaurs enjoy. And I wonder whether we can afford to. Of course, you may not be alive several centuries from now, but the consequence of this climate change is awful. A dinosaur may enjoy it, as I pointed out. So I think several centuries from now you may not be alive, but it's not good for human race, the climate at that time. It's torrential rain, drought, and temperature is hot, very warm and hot. And so, even though you may not be alive several centuries from now, but I think we should think of this issue very seriously.
I noticed one thing in
Yeah.
your book.
Yeah.
You emphasized why global warming is happening. Related to that, you said greatest value of climate models is not just their utility for making predictions,
Yeah.
but also their ability to provide a deeper understanding of how the climate system works.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder to what extent the climate models' ability in deepening deep understanding about the mechanism of the climate system have convinced some groups of skeptical people. So, about the view that carbon dioxide is the major cause of global warming.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe my understand or the question I had at the time was, would you suggest any further area to research or ways to prevail this understanding more effectively
Yeah,
to strengthen the convincing power
yeah,
of those your theory of global warming
yeah, yeah,
based on the carbon dioxide increase.
yeah. What it is a chemist, in order to study chemistry of substance, they do laboratory experiment. What we can do use a climate model is to do, instead of laboratory experiment, we do numerical experiment. So you can, if you want uh, the uh, climate change, you can do all kind of experiment. And if you want to affect, for example, effect of Tibetan plateaus on climate, you can get rid of Tibetan plateau from climate model, put back in, take them out, and climate change greatly. And or if you want to see uh, another interesting experiment is to shut off the Drake Passage. And so you shut off circumpolar ocean, which has a profound effect. You see global warming completely different between northern and the southern hemisphere. And that is affected by the fact that southern ocean current go around latitude circle. Northern hemisphere always there is a barriers. When you shut off the Drake Passage, climate completely changes. Or if you want to know the Tibetan plateaus, you can get rid of Tibetan plateaus from your model. And I have throughout my life, I have a great time. Or you can open up Isthmus of Panama, open up between ocean current, water between Pacific Ocean and Atlantic Ocean. Climate changes greatly. And so that if you are interested in this climate change, I recommend you are very lucky than I has been. Because my golly, now you have a supercomputer and you can do countless numerical experiments. And also, you have a great observation now. And so I hope that people who enjoy climate and climate change will enjoy great time conducting countless numerical experiments.
Dr. Manabe,
Hi.
I remember you mentioned earlier
Yeah.
that there will be a lot of impact of global warming
Yeah.
on the human society. And then you also mentioned that those economic problem of China, Middle East, Southeast Asia, and
Yeah.
Africa deteriorating and then affecting profoundly international trade, commerce, and the politics even. You mentioned that. So
Yeah.
maybe this is the area beyond the global, I think, climate modeling area. So maybe we should throw the questions to maybe some of the members here, like the members of JCAW, if you have any kind of idea or what you have been doing already to kind of reduce those trend of global warming at this rate or something. I wonder if someone in the Chamber of Commerce person try to respond to that. Otherwise, maybe we can take another question.
Okay. Shall we go on to the next question?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Yes, please.
Hi, my name is Mika Takagi. I represent the Japanese Ministry of Economy here in Washington, D.C. And also I represent the organization called NATO, which is funding agency under the Japanese government to help companies to develop clean tech technologies. So I feel obligated to say a few comments. So Japan has a really low energy independence. So we have to rely on imports, and we still have to rely on fossil fuel. But we are still trying to install solar, wind, nuclear power, and other forms of clean energy. But we are still struggling to get rid of fossil fuel. So that's our situation. But we are also, by doing that in Japan, we are also helping other Southeast Asian countries to do transition for cleaner energy. So, and we do collaborate with US and EU and other developing countries to develop more clean technologies. We've been struggling because each country has different situation, and we still have to think about the global south that has to develop economically to feed their growing population. So it's a really difficult balance between pursuing clean energy and also pursuing economic prosperity. So we are all struggling, and so that's my comment. And also, I have a question for Dr. Manabe. Do you have any suggestion for Japanese government to pursue green transition?
Any suggestion for green transition to the Japanese government?
It's not easy
Yes, of course.
not to ban coal.
Yeah.
As I pointed out earlier, coal is the cheapest energy source, and it's dirtiest. And even though people realize that coal is very harmful, we cannot afford not to use coal.
Why?
And this is the problem which we face. And China knows that coal is very harmful, but China feels they cannot afford to stop using coal. They are exporting coal. And so this is a sort of international commerce and trade. And so I wonder this Chamber of Commerce in Washington and New York collaborates, tried how to minimize the usage of coal. And you can make a great contribution, and this involves diplomacy, and all these diplomatic interaction. And this is one thing which, yeah, which sort of you people.
I'm not representing the Chamber of Commerce, but so anyway, probably you throw the ball to many audiences, including the Chamber of Commerce members. So probably we will see some kind of response, I think, over the time.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think time is now approaching to the
Due to
question